range is 25 to 75, 80, and then there's some exceptions. So they're just doing that because they like it. They've got a bottle for 110, 150, 245, 275, 475. So if you're like, okay, I'm going to buy a burger and have a $400 75 bottle of wine, we've got you covered. Okay?
So the next,
Thank
fine dining. Some place where I work. Average cost of fine dining for bottle of wine is 150 to 250. And by the glass is 14 to 20 until $50. The glasses of term is incredible. $50 for a glass of wine Sauternes.
So can you tell us what your entree price range is?
Of course, the salmon is 45, bill is $60, lobster is 50, plus taxes, plus tax.
So at his place, his wine starts at 50 and his entrees at 40 to 65. So the middle price point is 50.
But the cheapest wine is $60.
Okay, 60. So
The cheapest one.
it's a 10% premium because Ricardo's got to make
Well,
money.
I think also if you look at a bottle of wine for 60, a couple is spending $120 on 200. So, you know, I mean, a bottle of wine's not going to be per person, it's going to be per couple, probably.
Right, but we were just
So-
using the entree price relative to kind of the bottle
Yeah.
starting price, not like the
But I
bottle
think at the casual dining, it's a $50 couple for 28, 34
That-
dollars
that's
of wine.
cheap.
Here it's a.
$200 to up the average rate.
So what's the most expensive bottle of wine you've ever sold?
Of course. I have the wine list of Jan George, 4-star restaurant, the New York Times, 3-star restaurant, the Michelin. Jan George is a famous chef, he's opening restaurant outside. So there is the most expensive restaurant, and one you can pass around is $18,700. $18,700.
That's the Lafite, 1870.
And that's 5 glasses, right? five glasses of wine.
Well, no, they're going to have to decant that. You'll be lucky if you get 4. 4.5.
But
There's going to be a lot
look
of
at the
crap
bottle.
on the bottom.
Look at about the rules.
$18,700 for a bottle.
Oh, and for the record, if you don't like it, too bad.
That's the rule.
Here's the disclaimer. No, because of the rarity and the historical nature of this wine and the crap on the bottom, each bottle is sold as is. It may not be returned. We have made every effort to assure the proper provenance and storage of this wine, meaning provenance from an artistic perspective, meaning originality. They are unique messages in the bottle from an earlier time. At 1870, you got to come up with some sort of story.
Well, for me, it would be dinner and wine or buy a
I-
house, I don't know.
I know Jan George because I did my training as a sommelier there, but I didn't want to join that company.
Did anyone ever buy an $18,000 bottle of wine?
As far as I know, they bought $4,000, $5,000.
Really?
Yeah. They were Arabic people from Sudan areas with petroleum, oil. They make the money.
Yeah, but their water's never gonna be really. Oh my gosh. wow.
So the next is website. It can help you to the information. Wine.com, local wine event for wine tastings, and wine2wine.com. And I brought this because I created this. Life is too short to waste time drinking bad wine.
We got a Ricardo quote too.
So you have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer.
So this, on a fine dining experience, you know, we're talking about 4 whites and 4 reds. This is 20 pages with, 20 wines per page. It's 400
Wine is
wines,
the experience.
right? 400 wines on the list.
Scott had a question here,
Yes.
Ricardo.
2 things. Can you first answer what is around your neck and what's
Yes.
that for? And also, how do you properly write wine on a menu?
Of course.
What
This
do
is,
you mean by, if I can ask, because I'm not clear what the
No
question is. What do you mean properly
How
right?
you listed, Scott?
How you write, obviously you write the year, or is it the year, the vineyard, the grape, the
Okay,
grape,
good
the vineyard,
question.
the year?
Yes. There is the other restaurant where I used to work before, They first the name of the wine, I would say Opus 1, the name of the producer, Robert Mondavi and Baron Lafitte Rothschild, the year, 1980, excellent year in California, and the price. The restaurant where I'm working now, they say different. Name of the producer, Angelo Gaia, Italian, Barolo, the name of the wine, and the year. Of course, after that, the price.
So there's no protocol, Ricardo? It's however the restaurant chooses to list it? Or is there a protocol of how it should be listed?
Most my boss and the owner, they choose the wine mostly in what they want to sell. What the wine is most profitable? What is the wine they can sell? They don't want to buy wine who people don't know.
Right, I understand that, but in the listing on the menu, is there a protocol of whether you need to put the producer and the name?
No.
However
no,
you
no,
choose
no.
to list it is fine.
And Jan George, they use the wine director, they can put the way they
I
want,
see.
you know. And the training also, there is no any rule. There is protocol when you serve the wine, there is protocol when you decant the wine. But other thing, there's most the wine director program. Each wine director have their own rules.
Great,
I see.
thank you.
And this is a tastabin to test the wine. On French tradition, they used to pour the wine here, and they used to test.
Ah.
Yeah.
So that's sort of an indication of your sommelier?
Yeah, sommelier.
Okay.
In France, they still pour the wine on the tastabin. They don't use glass.
Oh, but the sommelier would do that or the customer?
No, the sommelier.
The sommelier.
The sommelier has to do that.
So at that point, if the wine's no good, you would send it back and give the customer new wine?
Yes. We have agreement with import wine. When there is wine, is cork, means oxygen get into the wine, or the wine have many defects, or just some customers say, I don't like that wine, but you can argue with the wine. So we call back, we put in plastic bag, and we send to the import wine, the person who sell wines. More the wine they are selling, and some we pay as the way we sell the wine, we pay. If we don't sell the wine, we just give them the wine. Most restaurants I know in New York, they do the same way. You can
Okay,
go
so
out.
here's an interesting concept, listening to the argument at hand, or the question at hand, as it may be. The question that I'm hearing is the wine no good, or is the wine corked? Before you think what those answers are, and at what point do I return the wine? The next question is the salmon no good, or do I not like the salmon? And do I have the chutzpah to send it back? So now as the proprietor, if the guy says, okay, now envision this, the guy says, I don't like this salmon. And the waiter goes, well, what's wrong with it? The guy goes, nothing, I just don't really like the taste. What do you think the chef's gonna do when he hears that? So what the issue there is service versus customer satisfaction. His side of the coin is, there's a simple answer and a not simple answer. The simple answer is the cork. The product is bad. What do you do when, and he's gonna get credit either way, what do you do when you don't like the wine? That's the complicated.
In many occasions, customers, they don't like the wine. They say, listen, I don't like the wine. I don't know, you can taste. Yes?
So one of, in my experience, isn't your kind of rule of thumb, if I'm at a table and I have just made my order, you come over to me, you're trying to sell me wine, I ask you for a recommendation, you recommend a pairing, and then I don't like it, usually the house eats that, but if I decide I want the Jordan and I just order that, but I don't like it, that's on me. Is that kind of the way that you guys do it as well? Every restaurant I've ever been part of, that's kind of their rule of thumb. If you as a sommelier say, you should have this, it's great, it's wonderful, and then they say, I hate it, it's horrible. And that usually is on you, isn't it?
The last word has the customer. You know, I can recommend the customer, but the customers have decided. I would say if you're having a salmon, I believe the Pinot Grillo from Veneto, it goes well with the salmon. He said, no, I don't like Pinot Grillo, I don't like Italy wine. So I give another option. I always have in mind two options.
Well, to Craig's thinking, if I'm picking a Jordan because I like Jordan and that's all I know,
Right.
and it's not the right wine for that lobster,
Right.
that's totally my bad, because at the end of the day, I really don't know.
Right.
If he's picking the right wine at the right price, and watching what the customer's doing, whatever signals he gets, with the right food, which he does every day, because the dish doesn't change,
Right.
the likelihood of him being successful is what? Very,
Very
very high,
high,
right? So if you go, I don't like the wine, well, how often is that gonna happen? Yeah, you probably should eat it.
Yeah.
But you're talking about a batting average here that's, like, $9.95.
Right, yeah,
So-
absolutely.
Also, one point, I found many customers, they are snobbish, they are arrogant, they I have been in France, I have been in this, I said, the best way you have to deal with a customer is smiling. You're always right, I say, That's a point that people who wanna run restaurant, wanna become a GM, especially in New York, there is many people that are unhappy, they wanna take off their anger with a waiter, sommelier, or GMs, because my GM have a lot of stress, I saw every day, That's why, be aware, run a restaurant is not all happiness. Sometimes you have to deal with a lot of stress. Well, I have been in the restaurant business for more than 20 years. You have to deal with many people who are unhappy, who are frustrated, or they are picky, or they want to have argue with anyone.
Any other questions for Ben?
How do you determine the markup on the wines? Is there generally a formula for that, or is it completely up to you?
The markup, the
markup.
percentage.
Pricing.
What you're buying it for and what you're gonna sell.
So if you buy, in your restaurant, if you're buying, your first price was $60, right?
Yeah.
So at the bottom line, at a $60 price on the menu, what are you paying for that wine?
I would say, with my GM, with the order, we pay almost 20 to 30%.
So he's gonna buy a bottle of wine for around $20 to sell it at 60, 3 times. And depending on where you are, that the numbers are, which I think Bruce was quoting from Walker,
300% markup.
30 to 33%, 300%.
Like I say, most of the provider restaurants come from the wine, the liquor. That's why every day before I start, my owner said to me, or call me, Ricardo, try to sell expensive wine, Ricardo, I need to pay the rent, Ricardo, I need to, Yeah, it's pressure, but I do my,
Did you say 20 to 30% or $20 to $30?
no,
Percent.
percent.
So $100 bottle of wine on the menu is $20 when you buy it.
Well,
$30.
It's usually like 300% of the price.
$30, $20, you really, that was Bruce's point, 20, 25%, you're really ripping off the client. When you have a restaurant experience, and this is the conversation Bruce and I were having at the beginning of the class.
George.
Oh, George, I'm sorry,
I
George.
didn't want to correct you.
Oh, George and I, thank you, somebody did. What George and I were discussing is the fact that the wine menu list is an investment. You don't buy the John George list and go to the supermarket and just pick it up. That's a couple of $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, and it's maybe years worth of work. The flip side of that is once you've built that inventory, you then have a marketing tool. You say, okay, my wine when I bought it was a 30% markup, but I could do one of two things. I could stay current with the times and I can increase the prices all the time, or I can give my regular customers a good value because they've been drinking the 85 Margaux every time they come for the birthday party, and I bought 3 cases, and every time they come, the price hasn't changed. Well, you just keep going through it, and you still make the same amount of money. You don't make more money, and they go, wow, we go back to that restaurant, we get a great value. That's a marketing idea. You could either do that, or you can increase the price every year. So, but you first have to make the investment. So
And
that's a marketing ploy. That's a whole idea. That's a profit generating thing. But that's one of he's got a 2-page sign, which is the menu, and now he's got a 20-page sign, which is the wine list. So you have to figure out how much you want to invest in it.
Right. And the prices of the John George wines, that's an
Sorry.
investment as well. The wines are an investment at those kinds of prices.
But what Carlos said, Ricardo, excuse me, normal practice in New York where any wine that I do not sell, I could return back
Yes,
to
that's the deal.
the factory or the.
No, that's not what he said.
He said the
Any
import,
wine
if it were
where the
bad-
bottle is open
Yeah.
and the client determines it's no good, you can return. You can't return the case of wine.
Yeah, you're not buying it on consignment. He said if it's bad.
Only
Wine
open
is
bottles.
no
You
good.
you
Yeah,
get a
only
credit,
bad
and
wine.
actually, you actually don't, like, have a money exchange. They're not gonna give you money. They're gonna give you credit.
Yeah, that's right, it's always great.
Any other questions for Ricardo?
I just have a quick pairing question for you. What's a good meal to pair Chianti with?
We can, which, you wanna, what kind of Chianti or you wanna what food with Chianti?
What food with Chianti?
I do recommend duck and bean chop. Try the Chianti Classico no sole. Because Chianti, they have 7 regions or 7 sub-regions. Chianti Classico, Chianti no sole, Castello de Chianti, Chianti Banfi, but Chianti no sole is excellent quality and price.
So, thank you very much, Ricardo.
Thank you.
Ricardo, great job.
Thank you.
Great job.